Hey, how's it going, guys? So tonight I'm going to do a quick first look for Thursday night football between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Los Angeles Chargers for the Thursday night showdown. I'm going to be going over the players in that game, and I'm going to be building a millionaire lineup for tomorrow night. Just going to be talking over some of the points that I found interesting and can um, give you some more insight to build a more well-rounded lineup for the big game Thursday night. So let's jump into it here. So as I said, we got Los Angeles Chargers versus the Kansas City Chiefs. So this is going to be the highest over/under point total game of the week at 54 points. Looks like the Chiefs are favored by 4 um, for this game. I would actually take the underdog with the Chargers for this matchup, just because I feel like they have more solid weapons, and I think the Chargers have a lot better defense going into this matchup. But um, we'll get into that here when building this lineup as well. But so at the top of salaries, we got Patrick Mahomes. Obviously, the guy was 2 points away from dropping a 40 burger on Arizona, who basically didn't show up for the entire first half. Um, Super frustrating because I had Kyler Murray in a bunch of my lineups last week, but it's week one. You're gonna have instances where guys or really teams just don't show up. Justin Herbert last week or on Sunday, 34 attempts, 26 completions, threw for 3 touchdowns. Um, Very efficient, no turnovers the entire game. Um, just a solid performance on Justin's part. Didn't quite tap into the ceiling we were hoping for against the Raiders. Didn't exactly end up being a shootout like we had hoped for, but um, you know, again, going back to what I said earlier, week one, you're going to have instances like that. One of the biggest headlines going into this game is that Keenan Allen is going to be out with a hamstring injury. He had some optimism about possibly being able to play. I think if you, I think if this game was later in the year, you might have seen him play, but because it's only week one or week two rather, they're gonna sit him. He took up 4 targets for 66 yards, so again he'll be out for the Thursday night game. One of the most disappointing performances this past Sunday for the Chargers was Mike Williams, 4 targets for 10 yards. I had him in so many lineups, along with my season-long fantasy team, and to see 2 points because it's half PPR was less than stellar. Which I'm gonna go over my results for week one in another video, but nonetheless, Mike Williams didn't exactly have the performance we wanted. Um, but on the flip side, for pass catchers, we got Juju Smith-Schuster. He had a pretty good game this past Sunday. 8 targets, which is really bodes well for this matchup here. Obviously, he had some issues with fumbles during that matchup. Lost one of them, but we like this here. We like the 8 targets, 6 receptions. Especially in that offense, you're going to have a pretty high floor with the volume that they pass the ball. And one of the more surprising of performances was from Everett, Gerald Everett. I didn't think that he would have this much production going into this game, just because of all the weapons they have: Josh Palmer, Allen, Williams. But with the touchdown, along with 4 targets, 54 yards receiving, definitely very good performance. I think he's going to be a high value this week with Allen being out. Him and one other player I'm going to go back to when looking at this lineup. They had DeAndre Carter here, had 4 targets, 1 touchdown for 64 yards with 3 receptions, 15.4 fantasy points. He's at a $6,900 price point as well. I think, he's one guy I wouldn't bet that he'll have another performance like that. Obviously, the touchdown helped out his fantasy day, but again, I wouldn't bet that he would have that type of performance again this season. Maybe for this matchup particularly, just because Allen being absent, but being that he's only $600 away from Josh Palmer, who I think will be demanding more of a target share with the absence of Allen. He had 4 targets here for 5 yards. Not exactly ideal, but, we do like the 4 targets here. I wouldn't be surprised if you see that closer to 7 or 8 with Allen being out this game. But, at $7,500, he's definitely gettable. So when I'm looking at this this lineup here, or this matchup, obviously we know it's going to be high scoring. So defenses typically you wouldn't want to look at, but with the performance last week, the Chargers, they basically took care of business against the Raiders. So 3 interceptions, 6 sacks. Definitely got pressure on Derek Carr last week, or this past Sunday. And, as we know, Patrick Mahomes, when he's under pressure, he likes to throw the ball deep. Obviously, with the absence of Tyreek Hill, he doesn't exactly have that security blanket just to throw it up, or as he even admitted to, I think in a press conference last year, a reporter had asked him, there's a meme out there saying that, screw it, Tyreek Hill's down the field somewhere, and he just throws it up and for a wish and prayer, and Tyreek just outruns everybody to the ball. Well, he does have that type of speed, but he doesn't really have that type of player in that role this year. So I think, as a quarterback, you develop certain habits, you develop certain instincts to do certain things that don't even require you thinking, you just kind of do. And I think with Tyreek Hill being there so long and developing that relationship, those habits, I think with that pass rush that the Chargers had against the Raiders, even with having Devontae Adams, who's a king with short routes, also with Hunter Renfrow, obviously a master inside the 10 yards, and still got sacked 6 times. I think that puts a lot of pressure on Mahomes to make some mistakes this game. But I won't be putting the defense in the captain spot. As much as it pains me, and I'm second guessing myself, I'm going to put Mike Williams in that captain spot, hoping that we can see this get above 6 targets again, with the high scoring game, a game that's going to demand more pass attempts from Justin Herbert. So with that being said, we're going with Justin Herbert. We gotta have some correlation there between the two, and because of and as I was saying with the Chargers, with all the pressure that they're going to be putting on Mahomes, 3 interceptions, I think there's going to be a good value there with the Chargers defense, getting after Patrick Mahomes, causing a few turnovers. Maybe if we get lucky, they'll get a pick six at some point. One could hope, but I like that, especially at $3,200, which a lot of people, because it's a high scoring game, people are going to be fading the defense in this lineup. So far, Williams, Herbert, Chargers. One player that I didn't mention was Scott Moore. He only had 1 target again, but a big chunk, a big reception, big chunk of yardage for 30 yards. I think he just kind of got lost in the fold between MVS, Juju Smith-Schuster, and a surprisingly good performance from CEH, a guy who, obviously, if you played fantasy last year, if you're familiar with fantasy, one of the biggest, I wouldn't call it a disappointment, but a guy that hasn't really lived up to the potential that everybody thought he would be coming out of LSU. 7 attempts, 42 yards, 3 targets that you typically don't see, along with the 2 touchdowns, receiving touchdowns. So I think because of all those factors, you just I think that Scott Moore just kind of got lost in the shuffle there. Obviously, you still got Mecole Hardman here, with 6 targets for 16 yards, 1 touchdown. The touchdown really saved his fantasy day, made it possible where you can get there, get close to paying off that salary. But because we're paying up high for Mike Williams and Herbert, we're going to take the discount here at Scott Moore. Hopefully we can get him, more targets with that big reception there. Maybe they can figure out how to get the ball quickly to him. And again, if you think about the Chargers putting pressure on Mahomes, maybe Scott Moore will be, a quick outlet, quick dump off pass, quick screen pass to relieve some of that pressure off of him, to lighten up that defensive pass rush. So that leaves us 2 remaining spots for our lineup, and we're doing pretty good with our salary here at over $10,000 remaining. So we can go ahead and stack Juju Smith and Mahomes with that if we wanted to. With $500 remaining, I think that's a pretty safe lineup to build there. But with the Chargers, with the Chargers defense, I'm gonna just go ahead and back out from that and go with Austin Eckler, who had a kind of a performance. 11.2 fantasy points, 14 attempts, 4 targets on the day. Again, it was kind of a weird game for the Chargers. Herbert spread the ball around to several different pass catchers. They also subbing in, rotating their backs for that game. I think Josh Kelly for rushing attempts. Sony Michel, that's who it was, 7 attempts. So looking back on it, out of the 26 rushing attempts, or 26 running back touches, Eckler got 14 of them. again, being early in the season, I think the emphasis on Eckler getting his touches early is going to be not quite as demanding. I think that you'll see, being that Kansas City will be throwing the ball so much, you'll be seeing these attempts go up. I won't say they'll go up to 20. Hopefully they get to 20. But my main thing is hoping that Austin Eckler still gets these targets. Hopefully he can do better with them. Not to say that 9 yards of reception is bad, but hopefully we can get more targets. Hopefully we can get more rushing attempts, and hopefully he can fall into the end zone at some point throughout the game to help his fantasy day. 11.2 is more in line with his floor. Just got to get some more touchdown equity into that to help that fantasy score out. So again, Austin Eckler into the lineup, leaving us over $10,000 in this matchup. I think that as much as I'd like to go Mahomes, again, I think that you'll see him have a surprisingly poor game. Now, obviously, that's going to be a very bold. It's quite the bold prediction, bold strategy, Cotton. Hopefully, it works out for him. But I'm gonna fade Mahomes on this game, and it's gonna kill me, or it's gonna pay off really well. So again, we're leaving Mahomes out. We'll go Juju Smith-Schuster. Again, he had 8 targets. Hopefully he can get rid of some of the fumbles. If he can get 8 targets or more, that's enough to pay off the salary. So again, we're going Mike Williams, hoping that he gets 6 or more targets, upwards of closer to 8 is what I'm thinking, with Keenan Allen being out. Justin Herbert to pair up with Mike Williams. The Chargers defense, with the fact of how well they played the Raiders last week, and because of the gunslinger mentality that Patrick Mahomes has, and throwing the ball deep when he's under pressure, but now without Tyreek Hill to bail him out. Sky Moore, hoping that he's going to be a hot route type of a receiver in this matchup with the pass rush that we think the Chargers are going to have. So, one target, hopefully we'll get about 5 or 6 to be that outlet guy for that Kansas City offense. And then to close out the lineup with Juju Smith-Schuster, hopefully he can keep that target share in line with around 8. Hopefully he can even fall into the end zone and help out his fantasy day as well. And leaving us $2,100 at in the remaining salary for the Thursday night Showdown matchup. Alright guys, so that was my video for the Thursday night football matchup between the Chiefs and the Chargers. High point total of 54 points with the Chiefs favored. They're playing at Arrowhead, so I'm going against the grain and picking a very heavy Chargers lineup, but with the defense, with the pass rush from Joey Bosa, high passing volume between the two teams, with Mahomes having the instinct to throw downfield, earning that habit, developing that habit of throwing the ball downfield, hoping that Tyreek Hill bails him out, he won't have that security outlet this year. And again, hoping that Sky Moore ends up being the hot route guy for that offense tomorrow, and Juju Smith-Schuster still demanding that 8 targets for tomorrow's matchup. So I hope this video helps you. Shout out to Fantasy Holics for the support they've given me sharing my videos for the past month leading up to the NFL season. Thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to the video. Drop a comment on who's going to be in your captain spot for Thursday Night Football. So yeah, again, follow me, subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Twitch at WillReese14. Follow me on Twitter at WillCR. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Thanks.